Tony, it's going to be you and I going first and second because Greg, as you know, picks last, and Brian and Little Nugster already picked theirs. So I'm going to let you go first on this pick of what match?
Well, we're going to start with 2 pre-show matches. The first match we are going to start off with is the Lucha Dragons versus the Dudleys. Now do you want me to reveal the prediction of the Little Nugster and Brian before you guys go into yours each match, or?
Yeah, you can do that if you want.
All right. Well, both Little Nugster and Brian chose the Dudleys to win this match. Tony Black, you are up.
Well, I'm gonna go against Brian and the Little Nugster because we've seen that Kalisto can beat the big guys. He's done it to Ryback, and I have a feeling I'm going with the Dragons.
Okay. Mr. Trivia.
Well, I'm going to have to go with Devon and Bully Ray because they got to testify, my brother.
Okay. I mean, obviously there is a reason why they put this on the pre-show. It's a fully loaded main card, but you look at this once again as to who gets more out of winning here. I mean, the Lucha Dragons were apart for a while. I think that possibly they're looking to put the emphasis back on the Lucha Dragons and try and get them back into the title picture. So I'm actually going with Tony Black on this one, and I'm actually also going to go with the Lucha Dragons.
Okay.
I just think it makes more sense for them to win than for the Dudleys to win. I mean, I can see the Dudleys dominating the match and then pulling one off, but the next match, which is probably the match I'm so forward looking to the most, no. The Golden Truth, R-Truth, and Goldust versus Breezango, Tyler Breeze and Fandango. Triv, I guess both Little Nug and Brian both chose the Golden Truth to win this one.
Greg, before I give you my pick, I just got a message here that was my shared memory, and it said June 20th of last year at 11 a.m. on 1640 PWPR Pro Wrestling Podcast Radio. It was our special 50th episode of the Top Rope Report.
Oh, wow.
And who joined us on that episode? The Little Nugster.
Oh, cool.
So that was actually pretty cool. And
I remember doing that one from the dining room table at the old offices.
Yep. So, okay, sorry about that. I just wanted to bring that up. Well, the next match is Golden Truth versus Breezango.
Yep.
Well, this one could possibly be like the Divas used to be before the bathroom match. I mean, I really don't give a fat rat's ass who wins this match, but just because we're doing a prediction show, I'm going to go with Breezango.
Okay. Tony Black.
I agree with Trey. This is going to be one of those matches that I might have to go take a dump for, go plus the neighbor spoil it, or even clean the cat box. But Golden Truth is 0-2 against Breezango. I see a turnaround in Golden Truth.
Okay, so once again, I mean, like you guys both said, I mean, I'm glad this one is on the pre-show. I usually don't tune into the pre-show at all. So for instance, today we leave here, I drop Triv off at home, I go back to my house. By the time I take care of my dog and get everything all set up, I'm lucky from there by 8 o'clock to actually watch the show. So the match is meaningless to me, but just try and keep my record going. It's a tough one because it's, crap against crap, and you throw crap and you smear it on the wall, it's still smeared crap on the wall.
And you can't polish a turd.
But just for the fact that Golden Truth have lost twice to Breezango, I'm going to go with Breezango.
Alrighty. Interesting pick.
Well, why? Because I agreed with you?
No, just interesting pick.
All right, well, on to the main card.
Here we go, the
Um,
main card.
We'll start off with the two matches that were originally pre-show matches, but they moved them to the main card. We'll start out with two gentlemen that you actually drafted. I think Apollo Crews and Sheamus going one-on-one against each other. Once again, both Little Nugster and Brian. I don't know if they talked off air or something at some point, but they both have chosen Sheamus to win this match. Tony Black, if we're doing the every other, you are up, my friend.
Well, seeing how Sheamus has been roughshotting around the backstage areas, I mean, roughshotted over Apollo Crews, roughshotted over who knows so many others. Well, you have to admit, Greg, Apollo Crews, to me, is the real deal. I mean, what was that old saying in WCW used for, I forgot who used for the genetic jackhammer?
That was
I'm going to go with Apollo Crews.
okay.
Okay, Mr. Trivia.
The old former Yuha Nation, Apollo Crews. I kind of agree with Tony in a way. Apollo Crews is one of those rising stars out of NXT. Sheamus is kind of, he's kind of run his course, so to speak. I mean, he's still a tough guy. He's still, a worthy adversary for any opponent in the WWE. But I'm going with Apollo Crews.
Okay. I think there's two ways to look at a match like this. One, well, not really two ways, but
With one eye open, one eye closed.
when there's not anything substantial on the line, i.e. a title or number one contender or something to that effect, you look at a match when it's just a singles match as to who is it going to benefit best to win. And I totally agree with both of you guys. I don't see any reason to have Sheamus win. If it's a feud that you want to start, you have Apollo Crews win, and then maybe while he's celebrating, Sheamus attack him from behind and give him a little beatdown. But I also agree with you guys that the official winner of this match is going to be Apollo Crews.
Okay.
I mean, I hate to say this, but Sheamus is becoming like Cena, a glorified mid-carder. He's not at that main end of cards as
He's like who now?
He's basically like Cena, a glorified mid-carder.
You're calling John Cena a glorified mid-card wrestler?
That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it.
Okay, yep. And
You know,
that's why we like Tony Black, because he comes up with his opinions.
Everybody's got opinions. They're like assholes. They're all different. Some stink more than others.
I mean, I'm not,
No, I know what you're saying. I'm kidding.
But in my opinion, the reason I believe Cena has become a glorified mid-carder, and I'm not disrespecting anybody, but in my opinion, ever since him and Nikki Bella got together, he's lost focus, and he's not keeping his eye out what's important. He wants to be that. He wants to beat Ric Flair's record for holding the most world championships. He can't do it because all he cares about is movies, money, and Nikki Bella.
Well, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Well, he hasn't.
Money and Nikki Bella.
He hasn't done any movies in a few years.
Concentrate on what's more important.
Well, that's different. I mean, WWE is going to make him champion to beat Ric Flair, so it's not like they're just going to say, here, go ahead and you're more talented than this guy, go ahead and beat him. They're just going to throw the title on him so he can beat Ric Flair. But I see what you're saying.
Take the next one first. I got to call the Little Black Show for dinner.
All right. I'll take the next one first.
Okay. So the next match we're going to go to is another one up for a match of irrelevance on this card. And that's Dolph Ziggler versus Baron Corbin. Version, 7.0 at this point?
Oh, yeah, I know.
The little nugster has chosen Corbin to win, and Brian has chosen Ziggler to win.
This is a modern day Savage Hogan. I mean, how?
But much less illustrious.
Right. I mean, how much more can you see these guys fight each other? I mean, that's just something that, I really don't want to see anymore. And, I just hope that Baron Corbin's going to end this feud today. So I'm going with Baron Corbin.
Okay. Is it just me though, or I don't know. I mean, Ziggler used to be thought very highly of in regard, in my eyes at least. Now he's not even a mid card wrestler. He's an undercard. He's an undercard wrestler to me.
Ziggler?
Yeah.
Well, I think Ziggler's always been, right there. Not, here's the main cards.
Yeah, but,
here's
I
Ziggler.
don't even think he's here anymore. I think he's like below that. Like he's ready to be in that realm of Goldust, R-Truth, Fandango in my eyes, and to the point as to where if maybe next round of cuts and terminations, maybe Dolph Ziggler's name gets pulled out of the hat.
Well, I was looking at a thing on one of the websites today, and it said 15 of the underpaid and overpaid wrestlers in the WWE.
Yeah, he was on the overpaid one.
He was on the overpaid one at $900,000.
Yeah.
Wow. But anyway, Tony Black, are you back?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so we just went Baron Corbin versus Dolph Ziggler. The little Nugster picked Corbin. Brian picked Ziggler, and I picked Corbin.
So this is a match to me, and I agree with Greg of Ziggler being an undercard. He's basically like, remember that kid from the John Cena show that wrestled that Zombie wanted just to kick his head off.
Yeah, Cam.
AEW.
Yeah.
That's what Ziggler reminds me of. Baron Corbin, to me, he's becoming a real tough SOB since coming up from NXT. I am going to go with Baron Corbin.
Okay. Our secretary will get that. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, this is another one of those, what do you get out of this match? I mean, one thing I will, once again, I mean, I totally agree with the sentiments that Tony said is, with Ziggler, but I don't see Baron Corbin in anything right now other than the fact that, he's been beating down Ziggler, a diminished superstar. Who I wouldn't even consider a WWE star anymore. I would consider him a WWE wrestler. So, I mean, I don't see anything going forward with Ziggler from here. And like I said, I would not be surprised that if he was not let go here in the near future. I don't recall if he'd ever, I know there was rumors that when his contract was up, he was going to just go off into the into the night sky. I don't know if he ever re-signed the contract. Something was up during the summer. So I'm also going with Baron Corbin for this one.
Okay.
All right, on to the Divas
Nicholas Nemeth
tag
is his real
match.
name, by the way.
I know.
The Divas tag match.
Which is going to feature Charlotte and Dana Brooke versus Natalya and Becky Lynch.
Tony Black has got this pick first.
Yep.
Well, this is a tough one because I think that's when the corn, honey mustard, mashed potatoes, and the porterhouse are going to sneak up on me. But I'm getting really sick and tired of saying, like I said in many shows before, for picks, same matches over and over and over and over. Both teams can, in my opinion, both teams can win. But I am going to go with Heart Foundation 2.0. Bad confession.
Wow. It's a little surprising, actually. Both the Little Nugster and Brian both chose Charlotte and Dana Brooke on this one. Mr. Trivia,
Well, I kind of agree with Tony Black in a certain aspect. I did see some problems with Charlotte and Dana Brooke last week when Charlotte lost, but, and that's a big but, I think tonight Dana Brooke is going to prove to Charlotte that she's worthy to be with Charlotte, and I'm going to go with Charlotte and Dana Brooke, who, by the way, is not related to Arn Anderson. Arn Anderson, by the way. We'll clear that up right now.
Okay. I think we're going to see the development into something else leading towards SummerSlam. We have Extreme Rules next, and then the pay-per-view after that is SummerSlam. Unfortunately, I don't feel. I think this little run here by Natalya, and I've said it before, is kind of her, in my eyes, her last hurrah with WWE. I've read in several different places that there's a 98% chance that Tyson Kidd will never, ever step in a wrestling ring again. And I could envision this her little swan song sail off to go home and start making future Hart babies, although they wouldn't be Hart babies, but because, along that same lines. So I think this will be the end of us seeing Natalya wrestling for a little while. She'll make her brief appearance too. Maybe she'll be drafted to one of the shows and then kind of just ride off into the sunset. But Charlotte and Dana Brooke will win this match. But mark this down.
They will be little Wilson babies.
After this match is over, you will see a women's wrestler, Sasha Banks, in my opinion, should come down after this match is over. Dana Brooke, maybe she's distracted of some sort, and she'll, lay a whooping on Charlotte. Stand tall over Charlotte with, Dana Brooke stay outside the ring. And then that'll lead to the confrontation that could either lead up to Charlotte versus Sasha at SummerSlam or Charlotte against Dana Brooke, because you'll see Charlotte question Dana Brooke as to why she didn't come to her defense quicker after Sasha, lays a quick beat down on her.
Okay.
So that's my first little, off to the side interjection on a match.
Okay.
Okay, the next match we're going to go to. What?
Two things. One, Extreme Rules was last month. You're talking about Breaking Ground is next month.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Yeah, we have to excuse us. There's some guy walking behind us on the set here. We're trying to figure out if he's a janitor or he just seemed to be
one of our fans. No autographs, please. Not yet.
Yeah, he's going to have to wait till after the show for autographs.
So now we're going to go to the Fatal 4-Way.
You were speaking about Sasha Banks. And I don't know if you saw the things on Facebook, how they're saying that the New Day wants Sasha Banks to join them.
Yeah, Greg had mentioned something about that earlier before the show started.
Yeah. Yep. So obviously they're probably looking to interject her back into the scene. So, but we're going to go on to the Fatal 4-Way for the WWE Tag Team Championship, which puts the New Day, the champions, against Gallows and Anderson versus Enzo and Cass and the Vaudevillians. Mr. Trivia, well, actually, Little Mugster thinks the New Day is going to retain the titles. Brian's going way off the left side in this one and choosing the Vaudevillians to win this match.
Wow.
Triv, what are your thoughts?
Well, being a certified G and a bona fide stud, I really don't think that's going to help them in this match. They bought the Vaudevillians in for a reason. New Day's been tag team champs for as long as they have been for a reason. I think we're going to see new tag champs tonight, and I think we're going to see Anderson and Gallows. If the New Day wins tonight and retains the title, who's there left for them to beat? I mean, I understand. I mean, they'll kill the other guys. I think Anderson and Gallows have like the most legitimate chance to beat the New Day, and if they beat this team, and you're gonna sit there and tell me that the Vaudevillians have what it takes to beat the guys from the New Day, I don't see it. So I'm gonna go with Anderson and Gallows tonight.
Okay, Tony Black.
Well, if you remember last week's show, I already gave my pick. I'm going with the club.
Ham and cheese.
Turkey
Turkey?
on rye.
Turkey
Okay.
Club. All right. Well, this is where I'm coming from with this one, and I'll return back to the most recent opportunity that somebody had to break a record of holding a title for a certain amount of days. And we all remember the celebration of Nikki Bella breaking AJ Lee's record.
Yep.
And what happened? The very next opportunity, she lost her belt to Charlotte. I kind of envision the same thing happening this way, and I'm gonna predict the New Day winning. But the New Day they won't pin Gallows or Anderson, they won't pin Enzo or Cass. They will pin one of the Vaudevillians. That way, you still keep Gallows and Anderson, Endo and Cass in the picture as prime targets for that number one contendership. The next pay-per-view, they will have a match to determine who's the number one contender for the tag titles, culminating in the SummerSlam match with the New Day, where whichever one of those two guys wins that match, I then think will beat the New Day at SummerSlam. I see New Day breaking the record for holding the belt for the longest of any tag team. They've been bringing it up every now and then on the shows and starting to talk about it more and more.
Right.
I don't see them not having them do that record.
Security must have dragged that guy off to the side that walked behind us while we were doing the show. He might have just,
Hasn't come back yet?
No, he hasn't come back yet, so hopefully he'll have to wait till after the show.
Ronaldo.
So, but
All right, so the next match we're going to go to is probably the last match, and considering if you want to consider undercard, mid card matches, and that's Rusev versus Titus O'Neil for Rusev's title. Both Little Nugster and Brian have
he's
chosen
back.
Rusev.
The he
I
must
told you
he must have got away from security. We're gonna have to get him out of there somehow. They must have to get him out of there somehow. He could be a terrorist threat against us here, so we'll have to be careful.
Tony Black, you're up first.
Remember, you're in a jail cell.
Oh, this is a tough one because both are big, powerful guys. Rusev, he's going to do anything, and the accolade is a really, really powerful finishing maneuver. I mean, it's a more modified camel clutch, but I'm going to take a risk and go with Titus O'Neil.
Oh, okay.
What did we have for Nugster and?
I said both of them chose Rusev. So,
Well-
Triv, it is your turn.
When we were doing the mock draft this morning, and even on our way here to the studio, I was very vocal about. I think the WWE is. I'm not saying they're giving Titus O'Neil a push too quick. He's been in the WWE for quite a while, and he's a strong wrestler, talented wrestler. But I don't see him. I mean, if he beats Rusev tonight for the U.S. title, I mean, I will be that would be almost like a holy shit moment for me. So I'm going to go with Rusev.
Okay. And I kind of agree with the sentiment. I mean, they've kind of brought this very quickly out of nowhere into a feud. And, I mean, I could see, envision possibly, if Titus O'Neil wins, I don't think it would be for the title. It could be possibly one of those where, Rusev and him go back and forth, and then Rusev in a fit of frustration walks out of the ring type deal, one of those things. But I'm hoping that they use this as a springboard for Rusev to get back to his dominance with beating down Tyson O'Neil And then Lana coming back in with the Rusev Crush and him really, after the match, putting a nice whooping on Titus O'Neil. Just to reiterate that, the Bulgarian Brute is back. So I'm officially going with Rusev.
Okay.
Okay, now we go to what many people are considering a triple main event. We have 3 matches that would normally be a consideration for a pay-per-view main event on this card. And the first one we're going to go to is going to be John Cena and AJ Styles. Both the Little Nug and Brian both go with the upper mid-card wrestler in John Cena.
The upper mid-card wrestler, okay. Tony Black, you go first on this one.
No, actually, you go first.
Oh, I go first on this
Yep.
one? Okay.
Yeah, he just went with Titus O'Neil first, so it's your turn.
Well, I'm kind of on the fence because WWE, John Cena's the face of the company, and AJ Styles is, superstar that's been all around the world,
And I can't find my... Sorry.
And you okay?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay. And
Very loud, distracting music in the background.
I'm just, I'm trying to look at it as a situation where who would benefit better from this match, John Cena or AJ Styles? And I'm going to go with AJ Styles in this match.
Okay. Do I even need to ask Tony Black who's going to win this match, or should I just write it down in bold letters?
He might pick the upper mid Carter.
It's hard to call this match, man, because here you got a 15-time WWE World Champion. You have a two-time IWGP champion, multiple TNA champion. I'm gonna go with Cena, but
Wow.
I'm calling for the disqualification on this match going in Cena's favor, because I think my only moment is going to be the true leader of the club making his appearance tonight. That'd be Finn Balor.
Well, like I had said to Greg earlier, before he makes his pick, I was seeing on one of the websites, and it wasn't a Sportskeeda, by the way.
No, but they just announced that Nikki Bella had surgery, so
Okay.
Sportskeeda's on top of it.
But I was watching one of the websites, and they were saying that the Bullet Club is banned from ringside for the John Cena AJ Styles match,
Yes.
but Finn Balor's not part of the Bullet Club yet.
Right.
So, could we see Finn Balor?
Well, according to Tony Black, yes, we will see Finn Balor.
Okay.
That would be my holy crap moment.
Okay.
Okay.
And Greg?
Okay. Well, I really wish we could have kind of inverted things, because I have a very, very good reason why I'm going to pick the winner that I'm going to pick. So I'm probably going to give away. Well, no, I won't fully give it away because that's still an offense. But I also agree that John Cena will win this match, and John Cena will win this match by disqualification due to outside interference. I agree with that. Once again, the club's not allowed at ringside. I do think we will see, not the leader of the club, because I think inevitably right now, AJ Styles will be the leader of the club. I got this feeling, just this little inkling in the back of my head, out of left field, whatever you want to call it. Gas up the bullpen car, because it's going to take a while to get into the game. But I think we're going to see the Money in the Bank ladder match early in the pay-per-view, if not the first, more maybe the second match. And I think that the newest member of the club that's going to interfere in this match and then feud with John Cena into SummerSlam to give himself a huge push is going to be the one and the only... Oh my God, my microphone. Cesaro.
Wow. That is definitely an out of the ballpark prediction, and that would be something. If it happens, then it's going to be like, I'm not worthy. But that's interesting to check out.
Now, once again, as long as John Cena wins by disqualification, I'm still right. That's
Right.
just a little added juice on the side.
Right.
All right, well, now that we're talking about it, let's go to the Money in the Bank ladder match, which is for a guaranteed contract at your choosing for the WWE Heavyweight Championship. It's going to pit Kevin Owens, we'll do it the right way. Owens and Cesaro, Del Rio, Ambrose, Y2J, and Sami Zayn. Tony Black, you're up first for this one. The Little Nugster's chosen Owens to win, and Brian has gone with what seems like to be the fan favorite choice for this one in Dean Ambrose. Tony Black, you are up.
All right. I was going back and forth because I want to see Owens get his push, but that's not my pick. From what I saw during the Ambrose Asylum, I want this pick because I want to see what happens if this person decides that if he wins the Money in the Bank, if he were captain tonight and we see a three-way dance at Money in the Bank between this deal, I am going with Dean Ambrose.
Everybody's talking about the Shield getting back together. It's not going to
But
happen.
no, he's not saying they're getting back together. He's saying he'll cash in and make it a three-way
Oh,
bout
okay.
for the title. He's not
Okay.
saying that they're all going to get back together.
So basically, then Tony is saying that the Money in the Bank ladder match will be before the title match.
Yeah.
Okay. My pick on this, like I had said to Greg earlier, when we were doing our mock draft, somebody had said something to me about the poster for Extreme Rules being printed up. And on the poster, it shows Dean Ambrose holding the Money in the Bank briefcase. Where's the WWE going to go with Dean Ambrose? And is Dean Ambrose the right kind of guy to win the Money in the Bank briefcase and be WWE champion? By the way, remember how we had said before that John Cena was the only man to cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase and lose? Greg?
Yeah.
There was two. I just found out the other day watching one of the things on YouTube. First one was Damian Sandow. But I'm looking at the winner of this Money in the Bank contract, because we all know 90% of the time, 95% of the time, whoever wins the Money in the Bank contract is going to become WWE champion. But is Ambrose the kind of guy that the WWE wants to have him put the company on their shoulders? Nah. There's also been speculation of a seventh guy possibly being entered into the I can't see that because they didn't have a match with it, but I'm going to go with Dean Ambrose winning the Money in the Bank. There's just something back here that tells me he's going to
All right. So my philosophy is when you can't make a pick that nobody else is going to make. I mean, when you look at this, we talked about it on our show earlier. I don't see any reason that Sami Zayn should win this match. I don't think Cesaro is going to win this match because I think they've got bigger things. Well, not bigger things, but other things. Just in the back of my head, nothing that I've read anywhere said that, but I just think they've got something else in mind for Cesaro right now. Del Rio, I don't see them, giving him the briefcase, so that leaves you the three guys left. Owens, Ambrose, and Y2J. How long is Chris Jericho around for? nobody truly knows. I mean, I haven't seen anything. I mean, I've seen here saying that, okay, he's not going to do this. Okay, he's going to leave. He's not going to leave. He's not doing this. He is doing this. This is... I'm not going with either of the two obvious ones in Owens or Ambrose. I'm actually going with Y2J. I know this is probably going to put my undefeated streak to bed with this pick. But I got a feeling, once again, give him the briefcase. He's got that persona to have that, look at me and pompous prick attitude that you may want to have with this. And then ultimately, I see when he does try to cash it in, him failing, and then quote-unquote taking his ball and going home for a while. And then he'll step away and maybe come back around, where a Rumble to WrestleMania time. This way he gets some time off and can do his European tour with Fozzy or Australian tour with Fozzy or Antarctica tour with Fozzy. Who knows? But that's my... You know what? Here it is. Throw it up in the air prediction for this match.
Okay.
That brings us to the main event. Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. We'll go with Brian first. Brian chose Roman Reigns to win this.
Mm-hmm.
Little Nuts is trying to take a little chip off his dad's shoulder here. He predicted that in this match, Triple H comes down to the ring, interferes, and causes Seth Rollins to win. Roman Reigns then takes out Triple H. While he takes out Triple H, Kevin Owens, his Money in the Bank winner, comes down, cashes in on Rollins with a powerbomb, and walks out of Money in the Bank as the champion.
Wow.
So that's his official prediction on this match for this show.
Wow.
For this show. So with that being said, Triv, you are up.
Wow, that blew me away on that scenario.
Not a bad thought. I must say,
But you see, I'm gonna go.
Give him the golf clap for that one.
I'm gonna go something almost similar, but not as similar. I think we'll see Triple H tonight. But I think Triple H is going to cost Seth Rollins a shot at the title. Because, the authorities no more. Basically, we don't see J&J Security, Kane, Seth Rollins. And I really think this match isn't going to live up to the hype that most people think it's going to. Roman Reigns, I believe, is getting better and tougher with each title defense. He's getting stronger. He's getting more vicious. I think we're going to see Triple H come out, cause Seth Rollins to get disqualified. He's going to do something to get Seth Rollins disqualified. Seth Rollins is going to turn around and say something to Triple H or push him or go to hit him or whatever. And when he turns around, Roman Reigns is going to hit him with the spear for the 3 count. I see Roman Reigns retaining the title.
Okay. Tony Black.
Well, I'm going a different way. I'm going with Seth Rollins. Because, one thing, he has nothing to lose because he never lost the World Championship. He was stripped of it because of his knee injury. What's going to happen is, it's going to be a beatdown. I agree, you probably might see Triple H, but there's going to be so much of a beatdown that my Money in the Bank contract match winner, Dean Ambrose, after the match, because I'm picking Seth Rollins, but after that match, Ambrose is going to cash in, or you might even see the Shield, all 3 of them going at the title when Ambrose cashes in if he does. So I'm going with Rollins first as a win, and with the possibility of Dean Ambrose cashing in.
Okay, but if he cashes in, does Rollins still lead this pay-per-view with the title?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to kind of disagree with both of you a little bit here.
You're picking.
No, I don't think Triple H is going to have any involvement in this match whatsoever. I think they're purposely going to keep him and any involvement away from this. I think they want this to be a standalone feud. If anything, when Triple H does come back, it's going to be something I believe, to do with the Stephanie and Shane McMahon thing. I think him interacting here would be a waste of time. I don't think it helps lead to anything. Because once again, I believe that somewhere, probably at SummerSlam, there'll be some type of, altercation where, you're going to see Triple H involved with Stephanie and Shane.
I thought you were going to pick El Torito.
No.
Okay.
It's a company anymore. I can't pick him. So, looking at Reigns and Rollins, once again, I do agree with Trivia in the aspect that with every championship defense, Reigns looks like the champion. Overcoming some adversity. I mean, AJ Styles Roman Reigns match was a much, much better match on Roman Reigns' part than I expected it to be. It wasn't all just Superman punch and spear. He did a lot more than just that in the match. And kind of reminds me a little bit of when Cena was the champion. All you thought was, okay, here comes the 5-knuckle shuffle, and here comes this, and okay, match over. And then he started to wrestle more. And it's kind of the same thing with Reigns right now. Where it's almost, half the crowd is, let's go Roman sucks. Let's go. So, 50-50 hindsight, maybe Vince McMahon does have an inkling as to what he's doing by putting the belt on Reigns. I don't see any reason right now that they give Rollins the actual title. I don't want to say it's going to be a definitive, dominating match by Reigns. And because I've already thrown my undefeated streak out the window, I'm going to say this one, just for purpose sakes, I'm going to officially go with, it's going to be a tough one. Do I want to go that extreme? I'm going to say no contest. Double count out, something to that effect. I don't think there'll be a clear-cut winner this match either way. I don't see, a cash-in tonight by Y2J, but, I'm going to officially say no contest, or double count out, double disqualification, something that there will not be a winner to this match.
Wow, how can you? Well, that's a really bold prediction. I mean, Money in the Bank is one of the top pay-per-views WWE has, and not having a clear-cut winner in the title match, isn't that going to like put a blah on the pay-per-view if it happens to be good before then?
It all depends on how they do it. If the two of them just start beating the living shit out of each other, and Rollins throws Reigns through the Titantron, and then Reigns throws, Rollins off of the stage through a speaker, and, all kinds of things happen afterwards, I don't think, But, once again, I've already gone way out of left field with the Y2J.
Yeah.
So why not, go against the trend and say, you know what? This one could be a tiebreaker for me. It could be the one that makes me one up on everybody, because I don't agree with anybody on this match. So, the final pick for the show will be the first match on the main card. Brian, unfortunately, didn't give me a prediction for this one, so obviously he'll be eliminated for this one. He's automatically got one wrong. Little Nugster has chosen the Money in the Bank.
Wow, for the first match.
Tony Black, what are your thoughts on the first match?
All right, I want to make this, but I want to say a couple of thank yous. First of all, thank you for Johnny K having me and the boys down for the autograph signing, but especially Greg the Hammer Valentine, Andrew Anderson. They're so nice to my little guys, and Andrew Anderson took pictures with them. I'm sure you guys saw on the infamous Tony Black page and my regular Facebook page. But I do have to get going, so I'm going to give my pick because my Father's Day dinner is waiting. But I am agreeing with the little nugster, going with the Money in the Bank ladder match, this first match.
Wow.
All right, well, Tony, we'll let you go
All
eat
right,
your dinner.
Tony.
Once again, happy Father's Day to you, and enjoy your hot dogs and beans.
Exactly. Wait, hot dogs and beans.
Porterhouse and corn on the cob, my friend.
I thought he was having a ham and cheese sandwich.
A club sandwich.
Club sandwich.
All right, thank you,
All
Tony.
right,
We'll
take
talk
care,
to you
Tony.
again.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
The infamous Tony Black weighing
Yes.
in on his predictions.
Yes,
and
trivia. Who do you think is going to be the first
Well-
match of the show?
I have two that I would like to see. Now, I don't know if you've really paid attention much to the opening matches at some of these pay-per-views, but since they've been feuding, the last three pay-per-views, Ziggler and Baron Corbin have started off the pay-per-view 2 out of the last 3 times.
Well, one of them was a pre-show match.
Right.
so.
But I don't think that's going to happen tonight. I think I have a choice. I mean, I'm stuck on 2 of them right now. The ones I'm stuck on are Apollo Crews versus Sheamus and Rusev versus Tight Ass O'Neil. I'm going to go with Apollo Crews Sheamus
Okay.
to start off Money in the Bank.
My philosophy, once again, with this, as many people have already possibly know, is I always look for a match that's going to bring people out from the souvenir stands, and try and get them in to the arena. Like, oh my God, I can't miss this match. I was originally thinking going with the Fatal 4-Way tag match, but with there being 2 tag matches on the pre-show, literally doing 3 tag matches in a row would be overkill. Therefore, I'm also eliminating the Divas tag match. What I honestly would love to see them do with the star-studded events and matches that they have at this event, I should say, I would love to see them, and I don't know when the last time it had ever happened in his career, but I would love for the first entrant music to play. And you know what? What the hell? I'll make it my official prediction. I want to see John Cena, AJ Styles open up the show. You have 3 high-level main event matches. You can stagger them a little bit. You can do them first, and then go a few matches, and then do the Money in the Bank, and then all the way down to the end. I'm just throwing it out there. I know it's not going to happen. You're probably going to see a Ziggler Corbin or an Apollo shit, one of those, and then maybe the Money in the Bank. I think if that's not going to be the first, it'll be the second, so it's earlier in the show, just to give you the illusion that, hey, whoever won had 2.5 fucking microphone, 2.5 hours to rest to possibly cash in. I don't think it's going to be the first match, so what the hell? Like I said, I'll go AJ Cena.
Okay. I've also noticed too. I kind of fear for our lives here, watching all these people walking back and forth while we're doing the show. I hope that.
It's not the same guy over and over.
No, some other guy just went by. Hopefully, we're going to be pretty well protected here, and I don't know who these people are, but it's actually pretty amusing and pretty amazing. But yeah, so it should be a good pay-per-view. I mean, we've done our picks, we've done our predictions, and.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, we still have 9 more minutes to kill. But so, what are you expecting? What are you expecting as far as? I mean, we know you've made it pretty clear that you wanted to see Brock Lesnar be in the Money in the Bank and win the contract and just torture the shit out of everybody until it's time to cash in. But whoever wins Money in the Bank tonight, do you think there's a possibility that they'll cash it in this early?
No.
I mean, Kane was like the last one to do that against Rey Mysterio.
Nope, I don't think it'll happen this early. Like I said, bucking the trend and not going with Owens or Ambrose and picking Y2J. Envision what they would do if Y2J did win, and that would be to, a few pay-per-views down the road, maybe Survivor Series. Maybe wait until somewhere along then and challenge for the title and lose. And then next Monday night on Raw, pull one of those, woe is me, screw you, I'm out of here, take his ball and run, kind of, i.e. Batista.
Yeah. Well, you
did.
know you know which wrestler has held the Money in the Bank contract the longest amount of time.
No.
Edge,
Oh.
291 days, followed by Seth Rollins at 273. I happened to catch that on some Money in the Bank trivia. Yeah, so, like we said on the show earlier, July 3rd at a time to be determined, TNA star Robbie E. will be joining us here live on the phone here at the Top Rope Report, so you definitely want to check that out. Also, this Saturday, June 25th, at M&J Video Games, Collectibles, and First Base Sports, will be a autograph signing with former WWE wrestler Hornswoggle and TNA wrestler EC3. And Northeast Wrestling on August the 28th, 4 p.m. at the Bethany Town Hall. Scheduled on the card that night will be Jushin Thunder Liger and Cody Rhodes. So you definitely want to check that out. I mean, there hasn't been very many, to my knowledge, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but there hasn't been very many holy shit moments in a lot of these pay-per-views lately. And I already made my prediction as to who I thought would be like an ultimate holy shit moment.
Mm-hmm.
But is it a possibility that we could see one of those moments if we see a Randy Orton or Bray Wyatt tonight? I mean,
Well,
they've got to be ready to come back eventually.
I mean, I've once again, it's been reported that Bray Wyatt has been at the last few weeks of tapings on both Raw and SmackDown. I had read that they do have a story in mind for Bray Wyatt, but it won't be taken into effect till after Money in the Bank. And then I actually read today that Randy Orton, he was expecting to be back in, as early as June to maybe July. But he's, just not medically cleared to wrestle, and now it's looking like if he does make his next match, it would be closer to SummerSlam.
Okay.
But, I mean, I think, it's tough. If a seventh, I'll make this statement, not that it's an official prediction, but if a seventh person is added to the Money in the Bank match, that person will win. I don't think they're going to, they've been pushing 6 and 6 and 6. If they're going to add a seventh person to this match, I don't see why they would enter somebody into the match and not have them win. So, if you do go to the seventh person, my money would be on that person winning.
Right. Okay. I can see that happening. So we're just kind of coming to the end here of another.
Well, I think you've already come to the end of the show because you're playing on with your phone.
We still got plenty of time. No.
You're just straight up disrespecting our fans
We still
by
got
looking at ringtones to download on your phone.
No, we still got
You know what,
plenty
folks?
of
I'm going to end the show at this time. I mean, what is this crap? Come on. I mean, that's blatant disrespect. I had my work blowing up my phone, so I had to text them back and say, hey, listen, I'm doing a fucking show. Leave me alone. And you're they go on Facebook and look at pictures and download ringtones.
The top rope
What is that?
The Top Rope Report has a huge following, so we gotta, not only we gotta.
Yeah, let's ignore it. Hold on.
But not only do we have.
I can do it too.
But not only do we have people out there we have to deal with, we also have to deal with people out here, and we want to keep our fans apprised and, everything else. So, but
Little nurture, I forgot to add that the distraction made by Triple H against Rollins will be a feud for the next pay-per-view or SummerSlam. So that's actually something that is worthy of looking at my phone.
oh yeah, that's definitely something that could very possibly
show-related.
happen too.
Right, but I just, like I said, I think that there's something. I just don't see Triple H interjecting in that match. I mean, Rollins never got injured. That's a different story. As we're speculating, a Rollins Triple H, match possibly even at WrestleMania or something. But, with the Authority being dead and buried, after losing a casket match, whatever. But, I don't. You really have to sell me a great storyline to all of a sudden throw Triple H into. Like, you want to say Finn Balor, interjects into the match or somebody like that, Samoa Joe shows up and says, hey, I'm the NXT champion, something like that, then maybe, but I just don't see it being Triple H.
Okay. Well,
I can see Heath Slater interfering in this match before I see Triple H.
Well, we haven't really seen very much of either one of them, to be honest with you, but it'll be interesting. Nuxer came up with a good idea there, so that's very possible. But, like you said, as usual, we've come to the end of another...
Well, just run a quick rundown of the matches real quick.
Okay, go right ahead.
Overall consensus between the 5 people. Lucha Dragons, Dudleys. Golden Truth, Breezango. Golden Truth with, 3. Apollo Crews, Sheamus. 3 of us had said Apollo. Ziggler, Baron Corbin. 4 of us said Baron Corbin. Charlotte, Dana Brooke versus Natalya and Becky Lynch. 4 of us said Charlotte and Dana Brooke. The Fatal 4-Way, 2 of us said the Club, 2 of us said the New Day, 1 said the Vaudevillians, so that's a 50-50 shot there. Rusev O'Neal, 4 of us said Rusev. Cena, AJ Styles, 1 of us said AJ Styles, 4 of us said John Cena, with 2 of us having some very interesting reasons why John Cena will win.
Right.
The ladder match, 3 of us have said Ambrose, with 1 of us saying Owens, 1 of us saying Y2J.
Mhm.
And then Reigns and Rollins, 2 of us have Reigns, 2 of us have Rollins. 1 of us has Owens walking out after beating Rollins, and me, I got nobody. Nobody winning that last match. So, that's the official scoreboard. First matches, I went way out, probably the furthest limb I've ever gone out on by saying AJ Cena, but hey, it is all in good fun.
Yep.
I hope everybody enjoys it tonight. Hope you enjoy it yourself, and I'm expecting a B plus A- rating overall from this show. You take out the pre-show matches, I'm expecting an A- show.
And we're definitely going to have the results of tonight's show next week on our podcast show here at 12 p.m.
And I was thinking that regardless, even if somebody doesn't go undefeated, maybe what we do is from show to show, whoever actually wins and gets the most right,
Who has the best
automatically
record,
the next pay-per-view show gets to go last.
All right, so I guess I'll probably get to go last next week, which will work out good.
Hey, I hope you do, because you. No offense.
I haven't been really knocking the door down on somebody's predictions lately.
I mean, although you never went over a show like T Black did,
Right.
so
We should have a special award for him at the end of the year and see what happens. But,
Yeah.
So this is the illustrious Mr. Trivia for the Nugster Greg, saying thank you for tuning in. Don't forget tonight, 8 o'clock, Money in the Bank.
pre-show at 7.
Pre-show at 7. Take care.
And stay up past 11, because I guarantee you.
Rec hour is now over. All inmates, please return to your cells. All inmates, please return to your cells.